So guys, good day. Here's the solutions to selected problems in all about functions and applications. So I know na nakasagot na kayo lahat. So yung lahat ng binigay ko doon sa inyong LMS, that's more on practice exercises lang. So let's see kung ilan yung nakuha nyo. But before that, I want to start our solutions for the problems with the help of Word from God. So for the eyes of the Lord range throughout the earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to Him. From 2 Chronicles 16:9. Thank you, Lord, for your words. So first is to find the value of a function. I want you to try this problem. Let f of x is equal to x squared minus 2. Find and simplify f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. This is actually the difference quotient. So just substitute the x plus h. So this will become the f of x plus h minus f of x all over h is equal to, so this is x plus h squared minus 2 minus the f of x. Now, don't forget to use proper grouping symbols. Since may minus tayo dito, so mamaya we need to distribute muna yan bago tayo mag-simplify. So that's minus quantity of x squared minus 2 all over h. Then apply the square of a binomial. So if you have x plus h squared, that would be square the first, so that's x squared plus twice the product of first and last, so that's 2xh. Then square the last term, so that's plus h squared minus 2. Then distribute the negative sign, so this will become negative x squared plus 2 all over h. Now, simplify. We know that x squared and negative x squared can be cancelled. Okay, so this will become 0. And the negative 2 and positive 2. So we're left with 2xh plus h squared. Now, since we have h in the denominator, then the whole thing na nasa taas na yan can be factored. So we can write this as h times the quantity of 2x plus h all over h. Then cancelled. So we're left with 2x plus h. Okay? So therefore, f of x plus h minus f of x all over h, where f of x is equal to x squared minus 2, is 2x plus h. So this is our final answer. Okay? Next, for number 2, if u is equal to 1, negative 4, 2, negative 3, 3, negative 2, 4, negative 1, and so on and so forth, then evaluate u of 2020. So, how do you solve this kind of problem? If you just observe the pattern, we can write this as, we know that the domain or the set of x values are 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. And our y values, or the range, are -4, -3, -2, and -1, and so on and so forth. So what is 2020, u of 2020? Before that, we need to observe the differences. We need to use the differences method in order for us to determine if the given relation is linear or nonlinear. Okay? So, tingnan nyo lang yung differences nito. So, between 1 and 2, so just subtract 2 minus 1. The differences for this is 1. Ganon din dito, the differences is 1. The differences is 1. Okay. Now, for the y values, get the difference between this. -4, -3. So, that's -3 minus -4. So, that's +1. And between -2 and -3, that's also +1. -2 and -1, that's also +1. So, since parehas ang kanilang differences, we can say that this relation is a linear function. And for the linear function, we can use the point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1 in order for us to get the equation needed. So, bakit kailangan yun? Kasi, dapat ma-generate natin yung certain rule. So, we must have our function rule, then mapaplug in na agad natin yung 2020. Okay? So, dito muna, we need to simplify. Pag meron tayong point slope form, you just choose any of these points, ordered pair, then plug in natin. The problem is, what is m? Ano yung m? So, m actually is the slope, and we can get the slope by just getting the ratio of y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Or actually, kapag yan ay linear at nakita nyo yung differences dito, actually, ito na ang inyong slope. Okay, yan na yun. Ito na ang slope ninyo. Now, so para maging sure, check natin. So, let's check muna for the slope. M is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So, we have y sub 2. Hala, pipiliin ko itong point na to, positive to -3. So, y sub 2 would be -3. Minus, itong point naman, 1, -4. So, 1, -4. So, y is -4 over x sub 2 is 2 minus 1. So, when you simplify this will become, dito yan ha, dito yung karugtong ha. -3 plus 4 is 1, then 2 minus 1 is 1, so which is 1. Therefore, the slope is 1. Okay. Now, for y minus y sub 1, so pili tayo ng kahit anong point dito since meron na tayong slope. So, y minus y sub 1, let's say itong gagamitin ko, 1, -4. So, this will become y minus -4 is equal to slope, which is 1, times x minus 1. So, simplify, y minus -4 is y plus 4 is equal to 1 times x minus 1. Any number multiplied to 1 or any expression multiplied to 1 will be the same. Ito pa rin yun, x minus 1. Then, simplify, y is equal to x minus 1 minus 4. So, this will become x minus 5. Now, remember that y can be replaced by f of x in our functional notation. Okay? So, f of x is equal to x minus 5. This will be our function rule. So, for u of 2020, this will become, anyway, we can use u of 2020 naman dito. So, or f of 2020, so they are just the same. So f of 2020 is equal to 2020 minus 5. And the answer is 2015. Okay? So, baka magtanong kayo, sir, paano nakuha yung differences na yan? So, this is actually isang technique na pinagbawal. Ano daw? Isang technique yan para malaman natin kung ang given relation or ordered pairs ay linear or non-linear. So, kapag yan ay pare-para siyang differences, that's linear. Pag hindi, there's another technique kung paano naman gagawin yan. You can get the second differences, but I will be discussing that maybe next meeting or when we encounter problems dealing with yung ganong case. Okay? Next is for number 3, let j of xy is equal to x squared minus 2xy plus 8y squared plus 1. Find j of 4, 1. So we know that 4 is the x value, 1 is the y value. So it is just a matter of direct substitution. Okay? So the x squared will become 4 squared minus 2 times 4 times 1 plus 8 times 1 squared plus 1. And then let's simplify. 4 squared is 16. 2 times 4 times 1 is negative 8. Plus 8 times 1 squared is 8 plus 1. Now 16 minus 8 plus 8. So negative 8 plus 8 is 0 plus 1. So that's 16 plus 1. Therefore the answer is 17. So the value of j of 4, 1 is 17. Next. Hey. Next is solving step functions. So in solving step function, actually we have two special types of step functions, the floor function and the ceiling function. Okay, so ang example dito ay application ng ceiling function. So first thing to do is simplify the given. Okay? So all you have to do, isolate muna natin yung 2 times ceiling of x plus 3 minus 4 is equal to 6. Lipat natin yung negative 4. So this will become 2 times the ceiling of x plus 3 is equal to 6 plus 4, that's 10. Now, since ito naman ay factor or multiplier nito, so we can divide both sides by 2 para mas maging simple muna. As much as possible, if we can simplify them, yun ang laging gagawin. Okay, so ceiling of x plus 3 is equal to 5. So, remember that in our ceiling function, laging kumbaga nag-step up yung number. So if you have, for example, if you have 3.4, the ceiling of 3.4 is 4. So ano ba yung mga number na pag kinuha mo yung ceiling niya ay 5? Okay? So we need to consider those numbers na pag kinuha mo yung ceiling, that's 5. So wala nang iba kundi more than 3. More than 4 rather. Simula ng 4.1, 4.2, hanggang 4.9999. Lahat yon ay magbibigay ng ceiling na 5. Okay? So we need to consider the two inequalities. So the first one is the x plus 3. We will treat this as greater than 4. Okay? Then simplify. So x is greater than 4 minus 1. Add negative 3 on both sides. this should be 4 minus 3. So x is greater than 1. Okay? So, ganun tayo mag-solve ng step functions. So, x is greater than 1. Next naman, yung another inequality, alam naman natin na 5 itself is, pag ginamit ko yung inequality na less than or equal to, so that's actually the another inequality na kailangan natin consider. So we will treat x plus 3 as less than or equal to 5. So solving for x, we will get 5 minus 3, so x is less than or equal to 2. So what does it mean? Para makuha natin yung mga values needed ng step equation natin, we need to consider the values which are greater than 1 but less than or equal to 2. So how do we write that in our solution set? So this will be our final answer. Okay, let's denote FA be our final answer. So our final answer would be set of all x such that x is greater than 1 but less than or equal to 2. Okay, now you can always check your answer. So think of a number na greater than 1, let's say 1.1. So try natin, so this will become 2. Always check your answer, times 1.1 plus 3 minus 4 is equal to 6. So this is 2 times ceiling of 1.1 plus 3 is 4.1. 4.1 minus 4 is equal to 6. What's the ceiling of 4.1? 4.1 ceiling of 4.1 is 5. Okay? So this will come 2 times 5. 2 times 5 minus 4 is equal to 6. 2 times 5 is 10. Minus 4 is equal to 6. So therefore, 6 is equal to 6. And you are correct. Okay? Yan. So far, yung mga nag-submit, nakita kong may mga solutions, tama naman ang sagot nila. And that's very good. Next is, for the composition of functions, we have f of x is equal to x minus 1. G of x is equal to 3x squared minus 2. And h of x is equal to the square root of x. Define the following functions and determine the domain of f plus g, f over g, and g minus f. So first is f plus g, number 2 f over g, number 3 g minus f, and number 4 composition of g of f of negative 2, 5 is h of f of 5. So for number 1, this is our answer. For number 1, f plus g would be, we have the function f, x plus x minus 1, minus the plus the function g, which is 3x squared minus 2. Now simplify. 3x squared, wala naman siyang kasama na, walang similar term dito, ang 3x squared, ang x squared rather, so copy lang. Ang x wala din, so copy. But we can combine negative 1 and negative 2, so that's negative 3. So therefore, the sum of two functions f and g is 3x squared plus x minus 3. So kasama dito yung domain of the resulting function. So what will be the domain of this function? So the domain of the resulting function is set of all x such that x is elements of real numbers. Bakit? Kasi quadratic yan. Define siya sa lahat ng values ng x. Okay, so x such that x is elements of real numbers. Next, number 2, f over g. So this is the quotient of two functions. So this is x minus 1 over our g is, sorry, should be h. Sorry, should be h. f over h. So our h is the square root of x. Now, we have a rule in a fraction na pag ang denominator mo ay radical, this is not the simplest form. So you have to rationalize. So how do we rationalize? All you have to do is just multiply both numerator and denominator by square root of x. So this will become square root of x times the quantity of x minus 1 all over x. Okay? So that's our final answer. Now what's the domain? The domain is, so since ito ay pinag-combine na nating radical function and a linear function, we know that for the linear function, the domain is elements of real numbers. But for the rational function, our radicand must not be 0. So lahat ng to, dapat yan ay laging greater than, lahat ng yan should be, the x should be greater than or equal to 0. Now, ano ngayon ang magiging intersection nila? So, since real numbers naman sa linear, so ibig sabihin lahat pwede magamit, i-exclude lang natin yung restriction natin dito sa h of x. So, since ito ay greater than or equal to 0, lahat ng positive na number. The problem is we have x in the denominator, so we must exclude also the 0. Therefore, the domain of this resulting function is settable x such that x is greater than 0. Okay? Next, number 3, g minus f. So for g minus f, we have 3x squared minus 2 minus, lagay natin sa grouping symbols, f is x minus 1. So bakit lagi yung ganyan kailangan naka-grouping symbols? Para pag nag-distribute tayo, kasama dun yung sign. Okay, yan lagi yung tatandaan. Now, this is 3x squared minus 2 minus x, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Now, simplify. This is 3x squared minus x minus 1. Okay? So, we have number 3. So, 3x squared minus x minus 1. So, next is number 4. Dito nga lang susulat. Number 4. G of f of negative 2. Ayan. So, anong ibig sabihin yan? So, gagamitin natin dito, we need to use the function g. Okay? G. And then, plug in. Evaluate using f of negative 2. So, pwede mong gawin, you can first evaluate the f of negative 2. So, f of negative 2 actually is negative 3. Okay? So, therefore, g of f of negative 2 can be replaced by g of negative 3. Then, what is g of negative 3? Now, use the function g, 3x squared minus 2. So, this will become 3 times negative 3 squared minus 2. Okay? Now, simplify. That's negative 3 squared is 9 times 3, 18. Ah, wait. Tama. Negative 9 times 3, 27. Sorry. Negative 3 squared is 9 times 3, 27. Minus 2 is 25. Therefore, g of f of negative 2 is equal to 25. Last, number 5. Number 5 is h of f of 5. So, pwede mo munang kunin yan, yung f of 5. F of 5 is 4 because 5 minus 1. Okay, so 5 minus 1 is 4. Then, we can replace h of f of 5 by h of 4. Yeah. So, what is the function h? The function h is square root of x. So, this will become square root of 4. And what's square root of 4? Square root of 4 is 2. Okay? So, we're done for this problem. Ito yung mga drill. And sanayin niyo yung sarili niyo para pag nag-quiz, pag nag-exam, ay easy na sa inyo. Okay? So, let's move on to the problem solving. Ayan. Tatlo lang naman iyan. Problem number 1. A piece of wire, x centimeter long, is bent into the shape of a circle. Express the area A of the circle in terms of x, which is the circumference. So, before we answer this, we need to recall muna ano ba yung mga formula so far na na-encounter natin. Ano ba yung how to get the area of a circle and the circumference of the circle. But take note that the circumference is in terms of x. Okay, so since x is the circumference, and we know that the formula for the circumference of a circle is given by 2 pi r. Okay, the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. Sorry, this is... Wait, erase ko muna ito. Ayan yan. Pen. Oh, no. Sorry. It should be pen. So, 2 pi r. Now, what's the area? The area of a circle is given by pi r squared. So, sabi dito sa problem, express the area A, so this one, of the circle in terms of x. Now, we'll be using the circumference, which is x is equal to 2 pi r. Then, since ito ay may variable na r, we need to solve for r in terms of the variable x. Okay? Then, we need to plug in that r to our area. So, actually, we can write this as to solve for r. We can write this as 2 pi r is equal to x because they are symmetrical. Pwede ko naman silang ipagpalit. So, hindi maapektuhan ng equation. Now, solve for r. Divide both sides by 2 pi. Okay, so cancel. We have r is equal to x over 2 pi. Okay? Now, next is plug in this r to our area. Okay, so this will become pi times the r is x over 2 pi. Okay, squared. So this is pi times. So if you have this kind of expression na may fraction form ka, then naka-square or an exponent, kailangan naka-square din yung taas tsaka yung baba. So x times x is x squared over 2 pi times 2 pi is 4 pi squared. Now, we can cancel this because we have pi in the numerator kasi actually magiging pi x squared yan, right? So we can cancel this. So we're left with 1 only. So therefore, we have x squared over 4 pi. So that's the answer for number 1. So the area of a circle in terms of x is x squared over 4 pi. Okay? Heart. Next, number 2. So for number 2, a rectangular storage container with an open top has a volume of 10 meter cube. The length of its base is twice its width. Material for the base costs 20 pesos per square meter, and for the sides costs 12 pesos per square meter. Express the cost of materials as a function of the width of the base. So recall that the volume of a rectangular rectangular prism or rectangular shape, solid figure yan actually, rectangular solid figure is given by the product of length times width times height. Okay, so we have the volume, which is 10 meter cube, that's equivalent to length times width times height. Now the length of its base is twice its width, so how do we write that? Yung length daw ay twice ng width. Okay, so we have length L is equal to 2W, twice the width daw eh. Okay, so what will happen next? This will become, so ayun, pwede ko itong pagpalitin ulit kasi they are also symmetrical. So ito, I can write length times width times height is equal to 10 meter cube. So since length is 2 width, this will become 2 width, 2 width times W times H is equal to 10. Mamaya ng units. So multiplying, we have 2W squared times H is equal to 10. Okay? Now we can solve for H kasi sabi dito, mamaya ang question dito, express the cost of materials as a function of the weight of the base. So ibig sabihin, if we let C of W be the cost, okay? So ibig sabihin, yung buong function na natin yun ay in terms of W. Now we can solve for H muna dito. Okay, in terms of W kasi yung H natin yung gagamitin natin dun mamaya. Okay, sa cost function. So this will become 10 over 2W squared. Now since this is divisible by 2, so pwede natin i-cancel. So this will become 5 over W squared. Okay? Now, the cost of materials as a function of the width can be computed using this. Let's say C is our cost in terms of W. So C of W is equal to, sabi dito ay 20 per square meter daw. Length of its base is twice its width. Material for the base costs 20 pesos. So that's 20 times the area of the base. So area is length times width. Okay? So that's length, 20 times length times width, plus, and for the sides cost 12 pesos. So that's 12. Okay? 12 times, sabi dito ay, and for the sides. So how to compute that? We will be having 12 times 2 times, anong kasama doon? Length times height plus 2 times width times height. Okay? Now, let us simplify. So in this case, para maging in terms of W lahat, gagamitin natin ito. Since length is 2W, then H is 5 over W squared. Paplagin natin yung lahat para yung cost function natin ay in terms of W. Okay? So this will become 20 times length is 2W times W plus 12 times 2 times 2W times H is 5 over W squared. W squared yan. Ayan. Plus 2 times W times H is 5 over W squared. Okay? Then, simplify. So, this is 20. Multiply na natin lahat. 20 times 2 is 40. W times W is W squared plus. So, in this case, we have, pwede nga cancel yung W yan. Pwede natin makancel. So, we're left with 1 W dito. Okay? So, this will become 12 times 2 times 2 is 4 times 5 is 20. So, this 20 over W. Plus, ito, cancel din ulit yung isang W. So, matitira 2 times 5. Sorry. Ano ba 2, 5, 5. So, this will become 2, this will become so we have 20 over W plus 2 times 5 is sorry 2 times 5 is equal to 10 over W. So copy, this is 40 W squared plus 12 times, this will become, since similar fractions sila, okay, you can add the numerator. 20 plus 10 is 30 over W is equal to 40 W squared plus 12 times 30 is 360. So 360 over W. Okay, so we're done. This is our cost function in terms of the width. Now, since this is a real life application, okay, we always set that the width must be greater than 0. Kasi wala namang width ng rectangular storage na negative. Okay? So, let us always include the condition. So, the cost of materials as a function of the width of the base is 40 W squared plus 360 over W, where W is greater than 0. Next is number 3. This is actually application of a piecewise defined function. So number 3, a parking lot charges 30 pesos for the first hour or a fraction of an hour as parking fee. An additional of 30 pesos is charged for every additional hour or a fraction of an hour of parking. The parking lot operates from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight every day. First question is, how much will be charged to a car owner who park from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m.? So first thing to do is to generate a function rule. Okay, so sabi dun sa problem, a parking lot charges 30 pesos for the first hour. So, yung ibig sabihin ng, or a fraction of an hour, ibig sabihin pag nag-park siya ng less than 1 hour, kahit minutes lang yan, kahit seconds lang yan, automatic 30 pesos na yan. Siyempre, wala namang park ng seconds lang. Okay, so halimbawa, nag-park ka ng 35 minutes yan, realistic. Pero, bakit 35 minutes lang? 1 hour dapat babayaran mo. Kayo nagmamadali. So, 30 pesos pa rin babayaran mo. Ngayon, kapag sumobra daw, an additional of 30 pesos charged for every additional hour. So, halimbawa, nag-park ka naman, naka 1 hour ka na. Tapos, sumobra ka ng konti, naka 1 hour and 20 minutes ka. So, magkano babayaran mo? So, meron ka ng additional na 30 pesos charge. Okay? So, yun ang isipin natin, how to generate the function rule. So sabi nila ay multiplier daw 'yan. So some of your classmates na nabasa ko doon sa forum, multiplier yung 30 pesos. And that's correct. Alang 30 pesos yung additional. Okay? So first is I want to generate a function rule. So let's say ang function rule natin ay parking lot charge. So let's say P of X, where X is the number of hours. So sabi din initially meron daw siyang 30 pesos for the first hour plus 30 pesos charge. Okay, so this is actually an application of a ceiling function. Okay, ceiling of X. Na kapag siya daw ay more than, kapag siya daw ay first hour or a fraction of an hour, automatically consider as 1 hour na yan. Okay? And matcha-charge siya ng 30 pesos. So this is X minus 1 actually. Okay? So this 30 plus 30 times ceiling of X minus 1. So mamaya meron namang alternative solution dyan. So the first question is how much will be charged to a car owner who parked from 8 a.m. to 2:30? So from 8 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. so p.m. So ilang oras 'yan? 8:30 8 so 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, so that's 6.5, right? 6.5 hours. So ito ay meron 6.5 hours. Tatandaan natin 'yan. Ito naman merong 7:30 to 11:15. So 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. So ano lang agad yan? 12 hours na yun, di ka? 12. So 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. So 12. Okay? 12 tapos hanggang 7:30 yan, tapos 11 p.m. So ibig sabihin, meron tayong nasa ilang oras lahat? 16, 15, 15. 15 point, may 15 minutes, so 15.75 hours. Okay, so this is 15.75 hours. So, tandaan nyo yun, ha? Sorry, hindi pa kulo pala. So ano nga ulit yung function natin kanina? We have the function P of X, parking lot charge is 30 plus 30 times the ceiling of X minus 1. So to answer letter A, we have X is equal to, ano nga yung sagot natin doon? We have 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours. So plug in to P of X, this will become P of 6.5 is equal to 30 plus 30 times ceiling of 6.5 minus 1. So this is 30 plus 30 times 6.5 minus 1 is 5.5, ceiling of 5.5. So this is 30 plus 30 times, what is ceiling of 5.5? That's 6. So we have 30 plus 30 times 6 is 180 plus 30 is 210 pesos. Okay? So therefore, ang babayaran niya ay 210 pesos. Medyo magulo ito. Erase muna natin. Erase. So, ano nga ba yan? Yeah. So, PHP 210 pesos. So, for letter B, we have X is equal to 15.75. 15.75. So P of 15, sorry, P of 15.75. Ayan. 15.7. Sige, pwede naman burahin na. Pointer option, eraser. So P of 15.75 is equal to 30 plus 30 times 15.75 minus 1. So this is 30 plus 30 times 15.75 minus 1 is 14.75, and the ceiling for that is 15. Okay? So let's multiply 30 plus 30 times 15 is, what is 30 times 15? 30 times 15 is equal to 450. So this is 450. Then simplify. 450 plus 30 is 480 pesos. Therefore, pag 15.75 hours na ang kinumsyon sa parking lot, ang babayaran niya ay 480 pesos. So, there's another solution naman. So, actually, pwede naman nating isulat yung function rule as simple as P of x is equal to 30 times ceiling of x. Pwede naman ganyan. So, yung una, 6.5. Ano bang ceiling ng 6.5? 7. So, this will become 30 times 7, which is 210. Paras lang. So, it's up to you naman kasi yan kung paano gagawin ninyo. Pero mas helpful ito, lalo na kung mas medyo yung ganitong form. When you try to solve another problems na similar dito, kita nyo na mas madali gamitin yan. So, I'll give you another set of this kind of problem para mapag-practice ninyo. So, ito naman, this will be 30 times ceiling of 15.75 is 16. Okay? Yeah. So, that's 30 times 16. That is 30 times 16. So, pares lang. So, we have 480. Okay? So, that's it. We're done. So, sana ay nakuha nyo yung ibang mga hindi naka-attend ng aking online discussion. So, ito naman yung solution nyo. Okay? So, good luck, guys. Thank you for listening.